Yeah.
Hi, Anna. So everybody, Anna Boden is about to take part in something called the Gaucho Derby. This event is thought to be the toughest test of endurance for horse and rider anywhere in the world. I think that sort of semi-accurately describes it, doesn't it, Anna?
Well, I think they love bulking it up.
Yeah.
I hope it's going to kill me, but I think.
But Anna, just can you explain exactly what the Gaucho Derby is and what it entails?
So it's set up by the people who start, you might have heard of the Mongol Derby.
Yeah.
Essentially an endurance horse race. So this is the Gaucho Derby's second year. They did it 2 years ago. And that was like the trial run basically, but it all went a bit wrong. There was a big snowstorm and they hadn't done proper navigation. So this is its first competitive year. And what happens is you're given a horse as part of your entry fee, and GPS, waypoints, or at the slightly more technical bits, they give you the exact route you need to go. And you have to get basically 10 days, 500 miles through Patagonia. And it's not just they let you go and they see you at the other end. There are checkpoints because they have to make sure the welfare of the horses is very important, and you have to pass the checkpoints.
Yeah.
Or vet checks. So what happens is you get into a vet check, and within a certain time frame your horse's heart rate has to come down. Yeah. Then once the horse's heart rate has come down, it has to be sound for them to then let you go again.
Yeah.
I did one which was similar setup in South Africa, but it was way shorter distance, and I only had way shorter distance and only 4 days. This is 10 days. And also in the last race, my tent and food and sleeping arrangements were basically there for me. But here I'm in the Andes in Patagonia, and I have to carry all of my kit, tent, sleeping bag, bowl mat, food, stove, and that all has to weigh under 10 kilos.
My goodness.
So, which is not very much at all.
No.
So, because it's going to be very cold, you have to have kit is lightweight and is going to keep you warm.
Yeah.
Biggest fear is that my sleeping bag gets wet.
Oh, don't. Yes.
And there's a snowstorm and I'm in -10 and my sleeping bag is frozen and I'm frozen.
Oh, don't. And do you so just tell us a bit about the temperatures. Going to be pretty hot in the day, is it? And then very cold at night.
Effectively, they're autumn,
right?
And I think that it's quite interchangeable. It's a bit like you can be having a really sunny day and then suddenly a storm comes in. Yeah. It's like that kind of weather, but the storm that comes in could be a -20 degrees snowstorm, whiteout.
Wow.
And we get there's 5 days pre-race training in which they prepare us. But the worrying thing is if you're up the mountain and this happens, although the HQ, they track you, because I've got a tracker in my backpack and attached to the horse so that they've got tabs on us all the time. If I press the SOS button, doesn't necessarily mean that help will be able to get there because it's up a mountain.
Where you are.
Can't see anything, so you have to be able to hunker down and be safe. But last year in the inaugural race, I think 5 people were airlifted off with hypothermia.
Oh my goodness.
But I don't think they had quite the right kit, and I've tried training for this. It's really annoying because usually this time of year the weather in England is really crap, but it's been pretty good. It's been warm, very few hard frosts and very little rain.
Yeah, so not much practice.
Yeah. Would be exactly 2 weeks ago. I ran 17 miles and then I jumped in a pond at home and then I pitched my tent and I got into my tent dry.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to practice being cold and pitching my tent and then managing to get myself into the tent dry.
Done. And that was all right?
That was all right. I think the trick is just to really dry bag the stuff that cannot get wet. Double dry bag it,
Yeah.
and then taking off. Be completely naked in the porch of the tent.
Yes.
And so that nothing wet apart from your body ever gets into the tent. But I've got very good waterproofs as well. I spent a fortune in snow and rock last week. So
well done. And Anna, can you just tell us where exactly does it start? And
everybody always asks me this, and
not exactly, but where.
So I'm flying to El Calafate, which is right in the south.
Yeah.
And then a night in a hotel there where we have a weigh-in and stuff like that. And then we're driven, I want to say 6 or 7 hours by bus to an estancia barn start camp. And there we have a further 3 nights of pre-race training. And then we start there. And I think we just go straight up, but I could be wrong. They haven't really shown us the route.
Yeah. And how what are you what's your biggest fear? What are you sort of most nervous about?
Well, I really want to complete it. I'd be very pissed off if I didn't. So in the one I did in South Africa, I think 20 people entered and only 12 people finished.
Okay.
So there's always, all of the people that didn't finish, it's just random reasons. And you can, out of those 12 people, some of the people who didn't finish, they were racing, but not competitively. And I guess I've been sponsored by so many people, and there's a lot of pressure because I've sort of spoken about it quite a lot, and I'd be really if I didn't finish it. So that's a big fear.
Yeah.
And I guess is on the race is the biggest cause of that, or injuring your horse, so I've got to be pretty careful, but I think getting really cold is quite grim. And before it was only 4 days, so it was kind of manageable. The snowstorm on day 2 or 3 just
well, I'm nearly at the end.
Not for 6, and then I've got a whole other week to go.
Oh God. How far in advance of the start of the race are you sort of given maps and stuff so you can do some pre-planning?
So that's all. There's a day and the pre-race training, which is like a day where we're given a GPS, we're given maps. What I think happens is between checkpoints, you're given a GPS initially, and it's got all of the stuff you'll ever need on it. It's all pre-downloaded.
Right.
And what I gather, although I'm not that sure, is because this is the first time they've done it, because last year they gave them maps and the maps weren't sufficient.
Right.
Between checkpoints, if it's a really, really tricky route, they'll give you the exact breadcrumb trail.
Right.
If the route is slightly easier, they will give you sort of waypoints, which you plot on a map, and then you look at the landscape and you work out where to go. To look at, there are big lakes in the bottom, or you think that mountain is easier to get across than that mountain.
Gosh, how amazing. And can you take any advice once you're there from anyone, whether it be locals, or are you allowed to take advice from anyone, or is that sort of...
But once we've started, I don't really think we'll see anyone else.
No.
Because it's a massive mountain range. And the only people are the people at the checkpoints, so unless you butter them up, I don't know.
And
I mean,
you never know. And apart, so you've done you're practicing of the getting into a pond, running 17 miles, etc. Is there anything else that you have done homework wise, or you can do to prepare yourself, do you think?
I've just done loads of riding, I mean, hours at a time, followed by long runs, so riding for 6 hours one day, running the next, riding 6 hours, so it's just continuous. I was also very lucky. I've befriended 2 lovely ladies who did it 2 years ago in the inaugural known as the Ledbury Ladies. I think they became quite infamous because they're just such good fun. Anyway, they have given me lots of great tips. My favourite one being to have a picnic, a sandwich bag filled with talcum powder. So every morning before you put your smelly feet in your smelly socks for the 10th time, you put your foot in the talcum powder bag, and it's apparently like having a bath, which says something a bit about how rank I'm going to be.
Oh dear. Or it probably might help with blisters as well, mightn't it?
Yeah, blisters. I mean, I've got the kit is extortionately expensive, and but you've just got to invest in it, because what's the point?
Yeah.
Otherwise, no point, because you won't feel like going.
Well, gosh, wish you so much luck, and just tell everyone how we can track you. How you're getting on while you're doing it.
So, if you just type into Google the Gaucho Derby, or the Gaucho Derby, the Adventurous. The Adventurous is a company that set up all these wacky races around the world. They do the Mongol Derby, the Mongol Rally.
Yeah.
They something called the Monkey Run. Lots of different things, and the website will tell you, and you can say. And the actual race starts on the 3rd of March. So, you can track
13th. Then I'm guessing.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and just quickly, so tell us about the charities that you are raising money for by doing.
I'm raising money for 2 charities: the Tristan Borsboy Conservation Trust, which was set up in memory of my great mate Imogen's father, Tristan, coincidentally. And what that does is a trust, and it donates to already well-established charities that try and it's got several aims to conservation, female empowerment in Africa, basically trying to make a harmonious coexistence between animals and people, because there's a lot of conflict there at the moment, and this is done basically by tapping into various parts of African life, and I think they felt that setting up their own new charity was just a bit silly, because there are so many really, really amazing ones out there.
Yeah.
Because of COVID, obviously tourism, etc., there's been a massive dip in funding there, and Imogen's a great friend, so that was kind of an obvious choice. And the other one is Place to Be, because I'm a teacher, and Place to Be has a phenomenal impact in disadvantaged schools. I've seen it firsthand, children whose parents don't have time to listen to them, and whose teachers, in fact, often don't really have time to listen to them, and they're just shoulders to cry on, and they help the children who slip through the net, and can have enormous impact. So I'm raising money for those 2 charities.
Okay.
On Just Giving.
On Just Giving. Okay, well, we will find you on there, and we shall be watching with interest how you get on. And I'd love to have a chat with you, if you can bear it, when you get back.
Or if I'm alive.
You will be. You'll be absolutely fine. But we'd love to hear how you get on.
I'm looking for, it seems like this has been 6 months in the planning, so the fact that I'm even considering being back is quite staggering.
Well, listen, very, very best of luck, and thank you so much for chatting this evening.
Thank you so much.
No, not at all. Very, very good luck.
Need it.